Come on. We are live. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Hello, everybody that is listening / watching / whatever you're doing. I hope you're all watching. Welcome to the Gamma Dames. I am Holly.
I am Lucy.
And I am Sarah.
Woo! That's all of us. Yeah, welcome to everyone. Please feel free to tweet along or write in the little YouTube live chat thing. You can tweet us at the Gamma Dames with any questions or comments or whatever, and we might read them out on air. So, I feel as it's been a couple of weeks, we should probably launch in with some recommendations straight away.
Oh gosh, I am not prepared for this.
I forgot we did that.
In all fairness, I only remembered like 10 minutes ago and was like, oh god, I need to think of something.
Can I do one for the week coming up?
Yes, absolutely.
It's almost Wednesday, kind of.
Absolutely.
So this week, Jupiter's Legacy Volume 2, Issue 1. Is that right? That's on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
That's on Wednesday. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. We've ordered quite a few of it. It should be good. It should be good.
Mine is one that I've been like raving about, and it's Civil War 2. And there's been issue, I think, 0, 1, and 2 of it. So technically 3 issues in the time we haven't done one of these. But oh my god, it's so good. And like I am not into like the big events that Marvel and DC really do. Like I usually think they're kind of rubbish. I thought Secret Wars was pretty pants. I thought Original Sin was pretty pants. Marvel haven't really done anything very good for ages. But
no.
I would say that Civil War 2 so far is like the best comic event of any of them ever. Like it's so good, and the artwork is amazing, which helps. And I think it's David Marquez that's drawing it, and it's unbelievable. And the story is really good. It's different to the first Civil War, obviously. It's more between like Tony Stark and Captain Marvel, and I like Captain Marvel anyway. She-Hulk's in it quite a bit. It's got some really interesting characters. The Inhumans are part of it, and there's a new Inhuman called Ulysses, who is like the hottest thing ever.
I saw your tweets about him.
Yeah, he's like a little bit Bucky, so he's got like the long hair and a man bun, and he's like very handsome and spends a lot of time like you all know how I feel about crying boys. Like he cries in like the second issue. He cries. I was like, this is written for me. Yeah.
They've been watching this podcast.
Yeah, they knew. So yeah, mine is Civil War 2, which has been absolutely incredible so far, and it's Brian Michael Bendis writing it, I think. And yeah, it's been really good. I don't want to say like too much spoilery stuff about it, but yeah, that's been amazing. That is my recommendation for like the past couple of weeks, for sure.
For sure. Mine's not one that's out this week, because since I got back from America, I have to admit I haven't even read a single comic. But I have started reading the graphic novel Punk Rock Jesus.
Oh, someone told me about this last week.
Yeah. Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, I am loving it. I haven't finished it yet. I'm only like a quarter of the way through, but already I know it's going to go in my top 10. If it carries on the way it is, it's going to be in my top 10 graphic novels.
I have to read
Love
that.
it.
Yeah, Sean Gordon Murphy, he was drawing Tokyo Ghost, which I love.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that, so that's awesome. I figure, as it's on the comics topic, we should probably say a little bit about DC Rebirth, as that's been happening.
Okay, yeah, good idea. So far, the Rebirth issue itself, like, I thought was amazing. And Jeff Johns did that whole, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. Like, I even tweeted him and said, like, listen, you needn't send me any money. Like, it was the best thing. I really enjoyed it. And 80 pages of comic with no adverts for $2.99. Like, who even does that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was
Do you know
so
what?
happy.
I think bad. I didn't click on, there's no adverts, and I am the type of person that jumps down their throat all the time over adverts. So I feel really bad that I didn't notice they didn't do that.
It's a big thing for me. Like, it brings me right out of a story. I'm not going to lie. Like, when I'm reading, I'm just like, la, 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 la. Oh, Twix. Oh, great. Where was I?
Twix adverts. They were huge.
And I hated them because I don't even like Twixes anymore.
Yeah.
I was so sick of looking at them. So yeah, the Rebirth issue itself was really, really good. And I think our shop, we definitely under-ordered all of the titles.
I feel
all
like
of
that's
them.
better, though. That's a lot better than
Well, it
over-ordering.
is.
And then you
I've
have a
become-
convergence situation.
Yeah, exactly. I've become completely disillusioned with events and
Absolutely.
reboots, and because they've all been dreadful. Like there has not been a good
No.
reboot ever. Like,
And I
and I
feel
know
like-
they say that this isn't a reboot, blah blah blah, but it kind of is. And this
And
one
with-
is far superior.
Yeah, we under-ordering. It's like, well, it encourages people. If you want the title, then you need to pre-order it. Like that's
Exactly.
kind of like the bread and butter of comic shops. Like, please.
They kind
pre-order
of don't seem to understand that, like a lot of customers. They don't understand that you get to find out what comes out 2 months in advance. Like, it's out there, it's on the internet. You can see for yourself and decide that you want one of everything, and you won't miss out.
And please pick them up. Please come and buy them when you do that. But yeah, I've been reading. I read the Wonder Woman Rebirth in #1, and really liked that.
Very good.
I really like the team on that anyway, because Greg Rucka's awesome, and I like
and
the
Nicholas
all-main
Scott
artists.
is amazing.
Yeah. So that's probably my strongest one. I did really enjoy Green Arrow, because it had quite a lot of Black Canary in, and I was upset anyway because the Brendan Fletcher run of her finished recently. Nice to see her in something else, and they even refer to her being in the Rock Band, which is quite cool. So Green Arrow was good. I like the artwork again for that. They're probably the two that have jumped out at me, but like I said, I haven't been able to read Flash or Titans, which was good. Yeah, I haven't been able to read Superman. Detective Comics I loved, because I love that team.
Detective was great, yeah.
Yeah, and I love Clayface being in it. That's really cool. But yes, I haven't been able to read a lot of the ones that were supposedly brilliant.
Superman for me was a standout. I really enjoyed Superman, and I don't normally like Superman, but I read Batman and Superman on the same night, and I genuinely thought Superman was far superior to Batman Rebirth. So that for me is a big thing. I mean, like, I'm obviously a massive Batman fan, but I've become disenamored with that over the last kind of few years. So I was really hoping for something fresh, and I didn't get it.
I've read the actual Rebirth, the first issue, but it puts me off because I don't usually read DC, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. And most people said, well, you're not meant to yet, but because I don't read DC, I question, is it confusing for me because I don't read DC, or is it confusing because it's meant to be confusing right now? Yeah. But I did enjoy it, and then I read Batman, and I actually don't think I liked that one.
I didn't like that one.
I'm intrigued. But they're the only two that I've read. I'm going to continue reading the main series, and I want to read Wonder Woman, but there's so many coming out all in one go that I can see it once again. It costs me £70 a week to buy them all.
Not as many as Marvel brought out.
Yeah, true.
Which was just absurd. Like, I'm never going to forgive them for that.
Yeah.
It cost us so much, and the majority of them weren't great.
The only thing I'm dreading is when all the Rebirth stuff, especially detective and action, gets put into trades, because like the numbering is going to be ruined. Like, it's not going to make any sense.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to explain this to people. Like, no, it's starting here, and they're like, oh, but this is issue 955, and I'm like, no, but it's not. Like, it's so hard to explain it to people, and it just sounds like complete nonsense.
As someone who has back catalogue comics, and I have to do it in volume 1, 2, and 3, I hate them. They are my enemy. I hate them for doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really mind reboots, because I think they do get more people into reading them and give people a place to jump on, but it's when they're then going to put them into trades, I'm like, how is this going to work? Because like it happened with Howard the Duck and Squirrel Girl, where they've now got like issue zeros, and it's like volume zeros, and it's like, that's so confusing to say to people like, oh, here's volume 0, but you don't really need to read it before volume 1. What?
Yeah, it's messy.
Yeah, it is very messy. Yeah, we actually had a tweet about Wonder Woman, if I can find it. We've had a few tweets about Wonder Woman, actually, which is good, because that means everyone's reading it. At Axel Resner, I really hope I haven't said that wrong, said, who's loving Wonder Woman as much as I am? So we all are. And
Me.
I predict that Lucy will love Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
She will.
I have picked that issue up, and I cannot wait to read it.
Yeah, it's good. And we've got another Wonder Woman related one from at Joseph Leader on Twitter, which is, with Wonder Woman being retooled again in Rebirth, what are your personal favourite versions of the character? So of Wonder Woman. That's a good question.
Ooh, I have a kind of unpopular opinion on this. Like my favorite Wonder Woman is the kind of armored full body suit David Finch and Meredith Finch one. Like I love her. I love her so much. And I know people say that, you know, the story wasn't as good, but the outfit I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then she had that kind of Spartan-esque one as well afterwards. That was awesome.
I think my favourite outfit of hers was the one, and I can't remember what it was from, but she had like an eagle helmet and then like a giant cape, and it was just the whole thing worked. But like story-wise, I've really enjoyed. Yeah, I've really enjoyed Legend of Wonder Woman.
That was good. Yeah, that was really good.
And I really like the version of her in DC Bombshells as well.
Yeah. Bombshells is awesome all over though.
Yeah. Correct. But at this point, I think I'll take anything Wonder Woman because I'm just happy to see her in anything. So.
Well, the thing that I liked most about the Rebirth thing is the fact that they've kind of addressed the fact that there have been so many versions. Like they've kind of addressed that, and the fact that she doesn't know who she is either. And that I thought was smart because obviously a lot of people have thought the same thing.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't really have a favourite. I think, like you said, I just love Wonder Woman. I don't think there's a version that I've read that I don't like. There might be. I just haven't read it yet.
We'll see. I'm just excited for her to be in anything. I just hope the movie's good, because that would be nice if we finally had a good movie with her in. Speaking of, I know none of us have seen it, but X-Men Apocalypse was the thing that happened.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, that thing happened.
And I've heard really mixed.
Yeah, I've heard that it's...
Go on.
The X-Men. With the X-Men, they're never great. But they're never bad either. They're just... They're always in the middle. You know what you expect with X-Men.
Yeah. I expect badness. I don't like any of the movies. And I liked the first 3 when they came out, but then I think that's because there was nothing better. Whereas like now we've had stuff that's amazing. I've gone back and watched the first 3 and I'm like, oh, these are dreadful. And then I really tried with First Class and it was okay. And then I think Days of Future Past is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I haven't seen that yet. Days of Future Past, I think that's when I stopped watching them. But that's not because they're like, in the geek world, they're like the rom-coms. They're the bad films that everyone loves to watch.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think I've seen Future Past at all. I'm not sure. Like, it might have been so bad that I completely erased it from my memory, but I'm not sure that I've watched it. But so far as customers and Apocalypse, whatever, they've kind of said it was okay. That's the general consensus.
Yeah, just it was very average.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just feel like I don't care. Like, I feel like the characters they've picked to make it about, I don't care about. And I'm a little bit bitter because Iceman was always my favourite X-Men, and they haven't put him in the new films, even though he should be, because he was one of the first ones. Yeah, I don't feel like I care about any of them. I don't know, and I feel like their story, they've always had that same thing of like, oh, everybody hates us, boo-hoo, and it's like you've still had that. Like, how long have the X-Men been going, and that's still your main thing, is like, oh, we're different from everybody else.
No, we're a bunch of mutants and no one likes us.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Inhumans actually do it better, but then I might be biased because I think Medusa is one of the coolest characters ever.
Yeah, but Medusa is cool, so...
I want a movie with her in so bad. Or she just like slays Black Bolt, please.
I have to admit, I haven't read Inhumans yet, but one of my friends has just lent me all the big hardback trade paperback, because when they found out, they were like, read it now.
Yeah, they're like the X-Men, but interesting.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, and Medusa's absolutely badass because she's been in A-Force and she's in Civil War 2, and she's just, every time she's in anything, I'm just like, yes, my queen. Like, she's so cool. And the hair thing is like quite a cool power.
Well, obviously the hair thing is awesome.
Yeah, I'm super...
We're all agreed on the hair thing.
Yeah. Cool. What have we got next on our little list? Or question-wise?
Let's have a look at questions.
Let's have a look. We've got a long one about what things, from Joseph again, what things can be changed and what must remain for a character to stay true? Spider-Man, Batman, etc. So like,
ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think with Batman, like the essence has to remain. Like, if from the beginning he's been pitched as the world's greatest detective, like it's really important that they keep an element of detective work in there. Otherwise, he's a nothing.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I think that's where I've really struggled with a lot of the kind of Batman stuff recently, is there has been no detective element.
No.
He's just been a guy. Like,
That's
and
a really good
it.
point.
I'm the exact same, like, he has to be detective-y for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it's more
that's the key feature.
Batman as well, though.
Yeah. Like, I think anything that's kind of born and bred into a character has to remain for that character to still be the same person. I think they can sway, like they can come away from it, say an event happens that makes them question their own being, then fine, but I think they always need to find their moral compass and come back. Yeah, and I'm still waiting for Batman to come back.
That's kind of leading into, actually, which I forgot to mention earlier, but it's kind of the same with the whole Captain America thing. Because I feel the exact same. Like, Captain America has to be that kid from Brooklyn who had a bit of a crappy upbringing. He had his mum and then she died, and he had Bucky, and that was kind of it. And then he grows up to become this super soldier to fight against the bullies that bullied him and everybody else. He has to have that core element to him. And I think making him Hydra, like they have just done in the comic, is almost like offensively wrong. Like, it completely takes away that whole element to be like, oh, he was Hydra the whole time, so fuck you. Like, that's how it comes across, because firstly, it doesn't make any sense. But I just think it takes away that element of, like, honesty and truth, which is his whole thing. Because everyone's always like, oh, he's all like the American dream. And I'm like, that isn't really anything to do with it. He just doesn't, he doesn't like bad guys. He's grown up being this scrawny kid trying to stand up for other people, and now he's got the power to do that. And I think by making him essentially a Nazi, you're completely twisting that for the bad. And I'm all for, like, interesting takes and, like, different looks at characters, but I think making him Hydra is ridiculous, especially considering his creators were Jewish. Like, I
will say one thing, though. I mean, like, his writer, he is not a stupid guy. Like,
no,
he's a smart man. So I'm assuming that there is an end game to this.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people are like, oh, how did you feel about it? Because obviously I'm a big Cap fan.
Yeah, a little bit.
But, like, I just was like, well, we'll just wait and see, because to me, I think it will be, like, typical comicsy nonsense where it's like, oh, it was mind control, or it's someone else, or it's someone from an alternate universe. It's not really Steve Rogers.
Precisely.
The thing that I thought was quite telling, and I don't know if it's kind of a clue, is like that outfit that he's in on that last page where he says Hail Hydra, the wings aren't on the side of his thing anymore. And I was like, that could easily be a bit of a clue of, like, oh, wink, wink, this isn't Steve Rogers.
By the way, don't get too mad.
Yeah, and a customer actually pointed out to me that there was I think it was an Ian Rogers in the Hail Hydra Secret Wars series. And I was like, oh, that could, it could be him, it could be anything, it could be some cosmic cube nonsense. And I think that's what it will come out to be. I think anyone that reads comics read it and was like, oh, this is going to last, like, a few issues, and then there'll be some great revelation, And, like, like you said...
it's like the death of Donatello. Like, it came in and everyone's like, oh my god, Donatello's dead, and the issue started going for, like, £10, £15 a piece. And we just looked at each other in the shop and we were like, He isn't dead. He
No.
isn't dead. And then the next issue, it was like, oh, he's just a bit injured. He's in hospital.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it'll be with Cap, and like you said, that Nick Spencer who writes it, he's not daft. No, and he was doing such a good job on Sam Wilson Captain America, and like Ant-Man that he was writing. Like everything he's written has been really good, and I read it and I was like, also, it's not his fault. Like, I don't think he went into Marvel and was like, by the way, I want to make Cap Hydra. That was a Marvel decision. Yeah, that came down from the top. That was Marvel saying, look, we've got this idea, which, by the way, they definitely did on purpose the week Rebirth came out to distract from it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the only reason they did that.
It's all tactics. It's all distraction. Like, they knew that DC was going to absolutely wipe the floor with them that week. Yeah, so they needed some controversy of some kind.
And it worked, because all the social media in the morning was like, oh, DC Rebirth #1's really good. And then by the afternoon it had completely flipped to be like, oh, actually, Steve Rogers is Hydra.
Nick Spencer.
Yeah, it totally flipped. And I do think it's a bit like, it's got to that point where they're competing with each other so much that they're having to do these kind of like underhanded tactics to do it.
Yeah, and I will say, by the way, that anyone that sends death threats to a writer, it needs help.
Calm down.
It's comics. Like, take a breath. It's not real life.
Yeah, I've had that happen to, like, creator friends of mine. It's just like, look, I know you're passionate about this, but death threats, really?
I mean, like, I've heard of it, because obviously I spend time at conventions with a lot of artists and writers and things, and I mean, I've heard some really petty tales about the lengths people go to get to them because of one of their decisions, and it's just like, really? You know, it's, at the end of the day, it's fictional stories.
And a lot of the time with the big two, like DC and Marvel, the writer hasn't come up with that. That's whoever's at the top of Marvel and DC. Probably their marketing department going, what will make people talk about it? Oh, I know, we'll make Cap Hydra. It's just business sense to them.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that the writers get the brunt of it.
If anyone watching is the kind of person to send death threats to a creative team, then just reevaluate.
Luckily, I don't think the people that watch this would be awful, but we might be wrong. You never know who's lurking out there.
Exactly. Lurkers are the worst ones.
Yeah, if that can be Hydra, anyone can be anything.
Well, very true. Yeah, and Lucy told me earlier, which I didn't actually realise, that The Killing Joke is going to be in the cinema for one day.
For one day! Ah! I'm so excited!
I take it you have your ticket.
No, not yet, because I don't know whether I'm in San Diego or not.
Oh no!
So I haven't been able to buy my tickets, which means I'm not going to get one of the limited edition figures, which breaks my heart. But because I don't know whether I'm going to be in this country or in America, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to go here or there.
Oh no, that's heartbreaking. I actually was one of the first to find out, like in my group of Facebook. And when I went to go book them in the cinema, there was like only 2 seats booked. Yep. And I thought, I don't know if I want to pay £15 a ticket to go when I can just buy the DVD. Like, I'm excited to go, but I didn't think it was like a £15 ticket worthy excited to go.
Yeah. I'd pay it 3 times over.
I didn't know you would. But I didn't even know there was a statue. And then like, I'm like, oh, well, I've well missed out now. Would have got it for a statue, for fuck's sake.
Do you know why they're only doing it for one day? Is it just like a special thing?
It's probably just a hype thing.
Yeah. I bet no one would have gone otherwise, because I honestly, I don't think it's going to be as good as everyone hopes. I think it's like the voice actors are going to be amazing, but I'm not sold on the animation. I think it looks quite cheap at the moment.
Yeah, me too. But I also think it's a case of like, it's such a huge thing that it's never going to live up to everyone's expectations.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that. I mean, I'm going to be going in with an open mind regarding the animation anyway, because there is no way in hell they'd ever make anything that lives up to Bolland. It's just not going to happen. So that was always going to be the case. The animation wasn't going to be as sharp as maybe we would hope, because they can't compete, so why try? But so long as the essence is there, I'm all in. Like, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but can't get too excited now because I think I've missed out on a ticket. So Couldn't be worse.
Aww. I've just had another tweet, but it's with a picture, so I don't know how to explain it to everyone.
Hold it up.
Yeah, it says from Anthony Jones, which is at AJ321. If Zack Snyder directed a Spider-Man movie, would this scene happen?
What does it say?
It says, "Kill them all, Peter."
Realistically, with Snyder, yes.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think I'd give Zack Snyder many things.
I'd give him a big kiss. Yeah, Watchmen, hello. No, I do. I like some of his films. Like, I honestly don't see why he has so many haters, and maybe that's
because he can't direct a film.
But they all look so damn good. Like,
Yeah,
they are
just
good-looking
remind you.
movies.
Or like, don't listen to anything.
But to be
God, if
fair,
you wanna
he
watch a
doesn't.
deep film-
He's not doing the script. He's just making them look nice. So you don't like the script? That's not his fault.
But also,
Well,
apparently,
apparently-
it's down to him.
The same scriptwriter must follow him around because every film has no depth. No scene is longer than a minute. There's no character development. Nothing makes sense.
I tell you, the only
But
good
everything
film
is so pretty.
The only
Yeah,
good film I think
everything's
he's been a
pretty.
part of. The only good film I think he's been a part of is there was a film about owls called Legend of the Guardians, I think.
Yes, yeah.
That was really good. That was an animated movie about owls fighting each other. That was wicked. But the rest, not so much.
No, I think he knows exactly how to make a damn good looking film. Like, his films fall massively into my aesthetic. I love them just for their pretty value. Like, I'm never going to say that they're world ending kind of masterpieces, but they're gorgeous.
I think if it's the right source material, like I wouldn't want him to direct like Scott Pilgrim. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think he could do.
No, that would be
Carnage.
dreadful.
It would be horrible. Yeah, there's plenty of things I'm glad he hasn't done. I guess it's just where he goes from here. But I still haven't seen Batman vs Superman, so.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, I keep hearing
I
that.
didn't hate it. Like, I thought it was okay. There's a lot of nods to kind of things that I really appreciated in comics, so...
I can't remember if I mentioned this in any of the podcasts, but when I went to go see it, the midnight launch, I stayed up till 7 o'clock with my ex-boyfriend, getting drunk and rewriting that movie scene by scene of how it should have been.
That's what I'm going to do when Civil War comes out on DVD. I'm like, right, I'm going to cut this up, make the movie that I wanted.
You see, we went to see it at the cinema, and because like we went and watched it weeks after it came out, and we've been hearing all of this ranting, and at the end of the film, like the credits rolled, and we just looked at each other, and I was like, I am so pissed off. And we were like, why? I was like, because that wasn't terrible. Like,
It was a 3-hour advert for Justice League. It was terrible.
yeah, but you know what? If you took out the terrible dream sequences and the Justice League drop-in, where, you know, he finds a file on a computer and they've all already got logos, if you take those away, it's quite a good film.
There are scenes in it I enjoyed. I loved the first half, and that's the bit everyone says they got bored at, but I loved the premise, the general idea that Batman would hate Superman, and there was real reason behind it, and it was amazing, and then it got stupid.
You know, that first scene is incredible, where you're seeing it from the ground level, where you're seeing it from, like, pedestrian status, and you're just like, holy crap, this is like World War. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, you hate
like I
Superman.
say, that he makes some smart decisions, and I will always give him credit for that. Like, that scene was just like, oh my god, yeah, I can totally understand where everyone's coming from.
They should hire him to do like 5 scenes in a film, and that's it, and then get someone else to do the actual progression.
Now that I would get behind. I approve. You've just solved the movie world's issues.
I always think, like, if you could take a movie that has already happened and been out, and give it to a totally different director, like, what would it be? Like, if you could, like, take that film and be like, right, actually, no, you just, like, remake it instead.
Ooh. That's a really difficult question.
Mine, straight away, is I would have given the first Avenger, the first Cap film, to the Russo brothers and be like, now you do it. So please, less montages.
I don't know who they are.
The Russo brothers did Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Which you love.
Yeah.
I should have known.
And the first Cap is fine, but there's like a lot. There's like a lot of montages, like for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I would have loved to see what could have happened if they'd done it. It's like the first Hunger Games movie, because Francis Lawrence came on and did the second and third ones of those, and I was like, oh, if only you could have done the first one, then it might have been like as violent as it should have been.
I think Watchmen's kind of bad for that, because there's too much music. It's like watching a visual album. I would have liked less music, but I don't know who would have got to do it.
You know, that's one thing I will say about Batman Superman. Like, I know everyone loves Hans Zimmer and everything, but the music just didn't go with the majority of the scenes. I hated it. Like that Justice League music, what even was that?
I think it was overkill, but I don't think it didn't go. I
hated it. Like, every time some music came on, I was thinking, what the hell are you doing? Apart from that really nice piece of classical music when they're in the hall and he meets Wonder Woman. Like, that is one of my favourite pieces of piano music ever. So I was like, yeah, great choice. But everything else, I was like, nah, not keen. Like, for me, it just took me away from what was happening.
The music's important as well. I was a bit like that with Civil War. The music, I was like, this isn't as good as I wanted it to be. But then I've listened to it.
I don't remember music in Civil War.
Yeah, just like the score. But like I've listened to it again since, and it's a lot more since, like on its own sort of thing. I'm just still upset about it. I thought it'd be. I still
that like 3 months. Score is great on its own.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic on its own, but you put it with what's going on, and to me it was just disjointed.
That's fair enough. Oh, Anthony Jones said, I think they should just get Bruce Timm to make a Justice League movie.
I was just about to read that. And I absolutely agree.
Yeah, perfect.
And some, oh God, Samurai just said, but Guardians and their music. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians did it
right.
That
was great. Yeah. They nailed it.
I think they did so much right. That film.
Me too.
I remember someone saying it was the best film ever made. That I don't agree with, but it was definitely, I think, one of the best Marvel films ever made.
It's in my top 3.
Yeah.
It's a great film. I mean, it's just great fun, but it still tells a story, and it still introduces characters in the way that they're kind of supposed to be shown. So they kind of just tick all of the boxes.
Marvel do funny films well.
Yeah. I mean, I also heard, obviously, that Ant-Man, I've not seen it yet, but a lot of people have told me that did a similar thing, like it was not equally as good, but good.
Yeah, I enjoyed Ant-Man. That's why I'm quite hopeful for Doctor Strange, because it's another one, like a bit like Ant-Man, where it's like, well, we'll see, this is like a bit different, it doesn't, it's a bit like out of the loop of all the other stuff. So I'm quite
intrigued. That's the thing, a lot of people, they've taken films and they've made films from characters that people didn't really know all that much about. I mean, like, Guardians wasn't a mainstream comic as such. Ant-Man wasn't really a mainstream comic. You know, they're well-established characters, but they weren't selling, like, millions. But now, they've taken them and they've made them something else, and now they're really popular.
A couple of years ago, when Guardians came out, when the movie came out, I feel like every comic shop was suddenly like, oh my god, we're finally selling Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Yay!
People finally care, yes.
People know who these are now.
I'm just waiting for someone to make a good Fantastic Four, because I've got about 3 long boxes worth of comics that I need to get moving.
Just keep holding your breath. I don't think that's going to happen.
I feel like the thing is, like, Josh Trank, who directed the most recent one, I think he's awesome. Like, he did Chronicle, which I thought was unbelievable. And, like, I haven't seen Fantastic Four because everyone said it was so bad. And I feel like if we were going to get a good Fantastic Four movie from Fox, which I think is where they are at the moment, it would have happened with Josh Trank, yeah. And I keep reading things saying that, like, the film that came out was not even close to the film that he made, and that they butchered it. They locked him out of the editing room, I think, and like basically they made him reshoot a bunch of stuff, like, because you can see the I think her name's Kate Mara, the girl that plays Invisible Woman. Her hair changes from like her natural hair to then like a bad wig. and the bad wig is basically where the reshoots start, which is like the last third of the film. So apparently they made him dumb it down and reshoot it, and because all the interviews before he was saying it was like there was a lot more like body horror, like them not being used to their powers and stuff, but apparently that didn't come across in the film at all. And it's a shame that they've got this like young new director giving him this giant property and then basically warped and melded it into what they wanted, and they've pretty much, like, I would say they've probably ruined his career, because like
Yeah,
the thing is though, I mean, like, I've got a massive hatred for that kind of thing. I mean, it happens in comics all the time as well. The amount of people that have like this great concept and they pitch it, they get it taken on, and then they're completely suffocated afterwards. Like, if you're going to take someone on because you like what they pitched, let them do it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I hate it so much. Like, don't stifle people because it might be a bit too out there. Like, all art is supposed to make you feel something. And if that's repulsed, then fine. Like, just let them get on with it.
Exactly. I wouldn't hire Zack Snyder to do a reboot of 12 Angry Men, which is just a film based on one long shot of people talking, because I know that he can't do that.
Yeah, we've had a couple of comments. Writers Talking said Trank did tweet about what happened, but he later deleted them, because I saw that as well.
Oh, really?
He tweeted saying, like, you know, they've butchered it. This wasn't my vision of Fantastic Four at all. And then he deleted the tweets, which is either, you know, he's either chosen to do that himself.
No,
or
he will have been told to.
Yeah, take him down. And Anthony Jones said he was told that it needed to be more like the Avengers because Fox wanted Avengers money, and I can see that being the case as well. You know, Fox saying we need a franchise like Avengers because X-Men's kind of just dawdling along, and they're trying to compete and trying to repeat the money that Marvel's made with Avengers. So well,
the thing is, like, I feel like if that happens, they should always be able to speak out about it. I mean, like, one of my favourite books recently was Airboy by James Robinson and Greg Hinkle, and I go on about it all the time because it's absolutely incredible. But in that, I mean, it's basically him saying that everything people disliked him for, James Robinson this is, everything that they disliked him for was stuff that he was forced to do. And he, you know, like his struggle with the fact that he wasn't selling as well as he should, that people weren't enjoying his work, and he basically covered all of that in that book. And, you know, I've sold that book to people that have hated his Marvel and DC work, and they've come in and just been like, you are so right, this book is amazing, like I see him in a whole new light now. And I'm like, well, that's because he wasn't kind of pushed in this book to do anything.
Yeah, it is a shame. And it's hard to come back from, I think, when something like that happens to a creator, especially one as young as Josh Trank, because it's effectively cut short anything else he was going to do. Because I know they greenlit Chronicle 2 as well, just after Chronicle came out, and then gave him Fantastic Four to do instead. And then when that tanked, they've said, like, no, you can't do Chronicle 2 now either. And Chronicle was amazing. Like,
but it just makes no sense. Like, why would you do that? Just, if you hire someone for a job, let them do it.
Let them do it. And I can't help but think, like, if his vision of Fantastic Four was anything like Chronicle, it would have been awesome, because of all the, like, superhero teams that I would like to see, like, a different, darker take on, Fantastic Four is one of them. Because you either have to do Fantastic Four, like, super cheese, which they kind of already did, or you have to take it in a totally different direction, which sounds like what he wanted to do. And I rewatched the first Fantastic Four recently. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. It's just, like, stupid and cheesy, but Chris Evans has shirtless us a lot. And, like, it's quite funny. Like, it's not that bad. Although, I did notice, because obviously it's Jessica Alba playing the Invisible Woman, they've got, like, weird, like, they've whited her face up. Like, they've put, like, white makeup on her face to make her look more white.
What?
That's a bit creepy.
Can you imagine that? Like, they would never get away with that now. That's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see in this video, I practically glow when I'm not pale. But, you know, if they hired me to be whiter than white, I'm okay with that. But, you know, like, same thing. If you're going to hire someone, make sure it's the right person, and you're not going to start changing everything about them.
Yeah, halfway through, exactly. How bizarre.
Oh, you're not quite white enough, Missy. Like, what?
The film, it's not that bad, the first Fantastic Four. It's just like silly, but then I quite enjoy the Green Lantern film because I think it's...
Yeah, but you know what? Green Lantern wasn't as bad as people made out.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. And it's got Ryan Reynolds with his shirt off.
Exactly, which is a winner. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. He's one of the few people, actually, that's managed to come back from a mistake.
Yeah, he's done well.
Yeah. And Affleck, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, Reynolds and Affleck, they've done it.
I have to...
They made a mistake in the superhero realm and fixed it.
Yeah. I do have to recommend that everybody go and watch The Voices. It's on Netflix. It's on UK Netflix.
I saw it.
I can't
agree. It's good.
That.
It's one of my favourite movies, but I know a lot of people that don't like it because it goes from, like, really black comedy to, like, horror, and then back to black comedy again. Like, it's really kind of like, it's not inconsistent, but it's just like, it just changes quite a lot, and I love it.
And it does touch on some real sensitive issues as well, I think.
Yeah, because it gets, like, kind of emotional and, like, mental health based towards the end, and then goes, like, super black comedy again. But my dad watched it and was like, this is the worst film I've ever seen. Like, he hated it, and I watched it and was like, this is my favourite film.
I turned it off.
I don't know, maybe because I'm coming from a side where, because, like, I haven't made it unknown that I suffer with mental health issues. And I don't know, maybe because I'm coming at it from that angle, the portrayal of someone with mental health issues was really delicately handled because they've shown kind of the worst elements of mental health in such a way that you're not like, what a weirdo, you know, you have kind of empathy, which normally doesn't happen with portrayals of mental health in Hollywood.
No,
I'll give you that. That they did do that. From what I watched, that was a part I didn't actually read into that way. But you're right.
And Ryan Reynolds is particularly good in it as well.
I genuinely think you have to be in the mood for them type of films. And I think I wasn't in the mood, so I feel like I should give it another go. But I remember just putting it on because I thought it was a comedy. Yeah. But it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not a comedy.
No,
it's not
very
a comedy.
dark. Yeah. But I love stuff like that, like Heathers and Cable Guy. And
I will say, though, that it was not your fault that you thought it was a comedy, because if you watch just the trailer, it is very much marketed as a comedy. Very much marketed.
Which is what I did. The trailer looked awesome, and it looked like a dark comedy in the sense it was dark humour, but it was still a comedy. And then I put it on, and 10 minutes in, I was like, well, I'm depressed. I was like, it's not fun to watch. Like, from get-go, it is like, right, we are going to hit the ground running. This is not an easy-to-watch film. And I just wasn't prepared.
I love that movie.
I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to watch it tonight. That's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you in 2 weeks what I thought of it.
Oh, my God, yes. Everyone should also watch Heathers as well, because that's an 80s movie, but that's, like, one of my favourite films ever. That's another dark comedy, but it's not dark like The Voice is dark. It's just, like, nice dark. And it's got Christian Slater in. Yeah, it was quite a small film, I think, but it's Christian Slater and Winona Ryder. And I won't, like, it's best if you don't read what the plot is and just watch it, because it's better when stuff kind of comes as a surprise. But Christian Slater is so attractive in it that the movie started, and the first scene where he turns around, I literally made a noise. I was like, oh my God, like, he looks amazing in it.
That was me with Hiddleston in his suit in Crimson Peak. You know, the black tailcoat. Oh.
You're just like overcome, yeah.
You know what? You two make me feel asexual when I talk to you two.
We're just giant perverts, I think.
Yeah, massively.
That was the only reason I almost went to see Batman vs Superman, because I was like, Jason Momoa, wet and shiny, I'm there.
Oh, well, you didn't miss out. He was in it like half a second.
Yeah, so someone came in and I was like, oh, how was Aquaman? Did he walk out the water in slow motion? Like, that's the least I expected from Zack Snyder after 300.
Are you ready? I'm going to reenact it for you. And that was it. That was the end of the scene.
Heartbreaking.
That's all you got. It was him underwater with his hair doing
I've got to say, I did see I think there was a trailer for, like, the extended Blu-ray of Batman vs Superman, and I've heard they're putting the Batgirl bits in it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Because Gina Malone was supposed to be playing Batgirl. I think it was.
Yeah, but isn't she blonde?
Gina Malone's ginger. But
She
I don't
looks
know
blonde.
if she might be blonde, but they cut all her parts out of the movie.
If she's blonde, good.
Yeah. But we'll see. But that might actually make me watch
Sarah
it.
telling it like it is.
Yeah.
If she's ginger in it, great, fine, wonderful. I'll watch it all day. But if she's blonde, I'm going to San Diego soon. I will go to their offices. Listen here, DC.
It is nice when they get it right, though. Even like visually, where you're just like, yes, that's the perfect outfit. Because someone commented earlier about the Doctor Strange outfit.
Oh, it's
how
perfect.
That's going to look. Because I think it looks great, but I am also finding it hard to like imagine it in action because it's so comic book.
But that's what I love about it, is that it is so comic booky. And if anyone's going to pull off the ultimate comic book costume, it's going to be Benedict Cumberbatch. And I hope he does pull it off, frankly.
Yeah, I have my own fan casting in my head for Doctor Strange, and no one ever agrees with it.
No.
I wanted Keanu Reeves.
I don't know.
Like, visually, he looks so much like him. And he's older, so he's got, like, he's been around a few dimensions.
But he can't act!
Yeah,
that's alright.
And that's all he do.
Neither can Robert Downey Jr., but they let him be in all these movies.
Well,
that's because he just plays himself and everything, and it's perfect.
Robert Downey Jr. is Chaplin. I will not say he can't.
Fair enough. I mean, as Tony Stark, he's not acting.
No, he's just being himself.
You can see, like, as you watch, like, Iron Man 1, 2, 3, like, both the Avengers films, you just see him more and more just being himself. It's like he's trying less and less in every film. It reached the pinnacle in Civil War where I was like, you're not even trying anymore. Like, they're just throwing money at you as you turn up. Like, that's it.
Not even reading from the
script.
But
like, Hugh Jackman started doing the same thing.
Very true.
Like, if you watch the progression through all the Wolverine films,
they try less as for more money.
He's just like, look at me, I am Wolverine now, that's it. Like, I don't even need to act. Everyone knows me as Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah. Samurai has pointed out that Keanu Reeves was great in John Wick, and John Wick is amazing. And John Wick made me want a Batman movie with Keanu Reeves as Batman.
You just want Keanu Reeves in a lot of films.
Yeah, I think Keanu Reeves has everything. Like, Keanu Reeves as Wonder Woman would be fine.
I'd watch that.
Imagine him in, like, the boots.
The big wig.
And the little skirt. Oh, bless him.
Why does that happen?
Bring me my jet.
Yeah.
Nice shot of the invisible jet flying overhead.
And Chris Pine and Steve Trevor just like, what's happening?
Oh my god, Samurai just said Bill and Ted and Batman and Robin.
Yes! Oh my god, that's the crossover I need.
Oh no, please no.
I love it. Yes. That's the film I
actually
really
While we're on the Hugh Jackman thing, I think it was him that was in a film called Prisoner that is epic. So I'm just throwing that film recommendation out. Like, you should both watch that. Someone told me to watch it. I watched it and it was great. Yeah. Yeah, you need to watch Prisoner or Prisoners, whichever one it is.
Yeah. I felt like that sometimes. I could give people like a list. Like another one that I say everyone has to watch, regardless of what you like, is Snowpiercer. Because oh my god, that film's so good.
Never heard of it.
It's based
I
off.
haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's based off a French graphic novel.
You got like a special DVD copy of, and you were like ranting and raving about it.
Yeah, it's based off a French graphic novel, and it's by a Korean director, and I can't remember his name, which makes me feel terrible. But it's by a Korean director, and he did the movie, and it's got Chris Evans in, and it's got John Hurt in, and Tilda Swinton's in it. There's tons of people in it.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah,
she's one of my favourites.
And the story is essentially that it's set in the near future where the temperature of the Earth has like dramatically dropped, so everything's frozen. And the only thing that was left was at the time there was a train that used to travel all around the world called the Snowpiercer. So it would do like a great big circuit, this like high-tech train. So the only people left are the people who were on Snowpiercer. So essentially, the train has ended up kind of like a class system. So at the end of the train, it's all like shitty, and like all the sort of poor people are down there with like no food or anything. It's awful. They're all crammed in. But then the top of the train is like this amazing sort of utopia where they grow all this fresh food, and like they use the water that comes from the snow on the front of the train and all this stuff, and it's all lovely. And Chris Evans' character ends up basically, there's something that happens and he ends up travelling up the length of the train, and there's a whole thing, and there's shocking revelations.
Amazing.
Yeah, and what it was there was a Korean director that did it, and when he'd done it, he went to distribute it in America, and it was the Weinstein Company, and everyone knows they distribute like all the Tarantino movies and stuff. Basically, they said to him, if you want us to release this movie in America, we need you to cut 20 minutes of violence out of it and stick a monologue on the start and the end to basically explain it, because for stupid Americans. So the Korean director literally just said, no, like, I'm not doing it, I'm not changing it, I'm not adding anything to it, it is what it is. So they responded by releasing it in like something like 20 cinemas, like nothing, across the US.
Wow.
Yeah, so it barely got a release, and there was a journalist that saw it that started like a hashtag that was Save Snowpiercer, and because of the attention that got, it got like a slightly wider release, but not a wide release at all. Like barely was anywhere, and didn't get like a DVD release or anything. And it came out in France. It came out in France and in Europe, because that's where the book was based, obviously. And it came out on home release in France, and that's the only copy you could get of it. I think it's still the case now, because the copy I've got is like a French Blu-ray. So obviously that was it. And America, like, it still hasn't come out in the cinemas over here. It hasn't come out in cinemas over in America, like, properly. Hasn't come out on home release in America. Is it
English or French?
It's English language. There's a little bit of Korean in it as well. But it is English language film. And, like, most of the stars in it are American or English, like John Hurt, obviously. And there's a couple of Korean actors in it as well. But yeah, it just didn't get like a proper release at all. And they were supposed to be bringing it out here a couple of years ago, and it didn't. And like, this was, I can't remember when it was. I think it's like 2012. So it didn't even come out for like a couple of years after that, and it still hasn't come out here at all. But it was released on US Netflix for a long time, and I'm pretty sure it's still on UK Netflix now. But it's so good. It's so amazing. And like, when you watch Chris Evans in that, you're like, holy shit, I almost want him to finish being Captain America, because he's really fucking good. Like, he's really, really good. It almost makes you think like he's wasted being Captain America, because he's capable of like incredible stuff. Like, it made me look at him totally differently, because I think that would have come out just after Winter Soldier, I think. But yeah, like, his performance in it is unbelievable. Everyone in it's amazing. And it's like it's quite violent and quite harrowing, but really, really, really good. I might actually watch it tonight. Like, it's amazing.
I think I'm going to try and find it. Samurai, it's not on Netflix. We just checked, but it was, so it must be taken down.
Yeah.
But Anthony Jones says he's just checked Amazon, and you can buy the DVD of it there.
Awesome. Yes.
And I think I might go and do that.
It is really good. I love it. I've like, since I bought it, I've probably watched it 10 times, and I've already watched it 3 times online. But like, Chris Evans, like, everyone's amazing in it, but I was just like, you don't get to see that side of Chris Evans in anything else. Yeah, it's amazing, and it made me feel a bit bad for him, because, you know, he came out and said a couple of years ago, he was like, oh, I'm kind of done with films, like, I want to do directing. It was right after Snowpiercer, and you can't help but think that it must be a little bit disheartening to only be known for Captain America. You're then amazing in this Snowpiercer movie, and no one fucking sees it.
Yeah,
well, it's probably massively disheartening to know that you've done like the movie of your life, and about 10 people are going to see it.
Yeah, exactly. He's so good.
We need to change this.
Yeah.
We need to like hashtag bring Snowpiercer to the UK. Or
hashtag,
but that's why I
watch it.
You know, like that Prisoner movie I was talking about before. Like, that's why I rave about that so much, is because Hugh Jackman before then was just like, eh.
Yeah.
And then I watched that and I was like, oh,
it changes everything.
This is really good. Yeah. And then I did the same thing with Affleck in Gone Girl. Like, until I watched that movie, I was like, nah, I don't like him. He's not a good actor. And then I watched that and I was like, oh, actually, no, I've changed my mind.
Yeah, Anthony Jones, yes, you're the best. Anthony Jones just said he's just bought it. Amazon, one click and impulse buying, do not mix. Please,
Yeah,
Anthony
I'm going
Jones,
to do the same.
please
Straight
tweet me. Please tweet me and let me know what you thought of it. Because, yeah, it's unbelievable. And then you have to aggressively tell everyone you know to watch it.
You have to start a podcast, get an audience.
Yeah.
This is what we've been building up to.
Yeah. It's so that I can say everyone needs to read Airboy, and you can say everyone needs to watch Snowpiercer, and that's it. That's what we've done this whole thing for.
Exactly that.
I say everyone needs to watch a film called Love and Sex, which is from the 90s, and I think it's 1,000,000 times better than 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, good. I didn't like 500
I'm gonna
Days
watch
of Summer.
that then.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Annoyingly, I can never remember the bloody actors, but the guy who's in it is the director of Iron Man, I think.
Oh, yeah, I know who you mean. I can't remember
the funny
his name.
guy.
Yeah.
And then the girl is Phoenix from X-Men.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's about her looking back on all the relationships she's had and why they've all failed. But it's a comedy. It's amazing. So good.
Awesome.
So clever.
See, if I thought back over all of the relationships I've had, it would not be a comedy.
Mine's an enlightening experience. I'd just be like, wow, they're all shit, aren't they? There's nothing wrong with me.
Like, asshole.
Anthony Jones has actually just reminded me of something. We haven't spoken about Preacher.
What? How did we get this far in?
How
I'm going to
good
start
is
by
Preacher?
saying I didn't hate it. I think it's quite good.
I
Tulip
loved
is a
it.
boss. I love Tulip. And Gilgan is nailing it. Like,
Yeah,
I love
agreed.
that man. I love him. The only thing I wish I could change, and a lot of people don't like me for this, is Dominic Cooper.
No.
Yeah. I'll slap myself.
The only Stark I like is Howard Stark.
Like, he's the only thing at the moment. Apart from the sheriff, I'm not keen on the sheriff. But I think that was probably part of the script. I think he was written that way. I'm not supposed to like him. That's the point. But I think Dominic Cooper could be a little stronger. I'm waiting for that.
He's got such lovely hair.
He has got nice hair and a nice set of a stubble.
I agree.
Lovely. Yeah.
I have not read the comic books because everyone has told me I would love them, but I really, 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 really am not a fan of Steve Dillon's artwork. And if I don't like the artwork, I can't.
You should still read them because I mean, like the aesthetic of the TV show is pretty close anyway.
Well,
apart from obviously the characters don't look like the book, but the actual aesthetic and the scenery and everything, it looks like it. They've kind of got it. So
I read the new Punisher comic like this because I really can't stand Dillon's artwork, which makes me feel
the whole thing looked weak. Like
well, and it's a shame because I like Becky Cloonan writing the Punisher, but
I've got to be honest, I don't.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
I do know what you mean, Holly. I'm terrible with art. I'm such a picky person. Like the iZombie TV series, I fell in love with, and I went to go read the comic, and I couldn't.
No. Is it Mike Allred? Mike Allred on iZombie.
I'm finding out.
Is he the guy that was drawing She-Hulk?
He's the guy that's doing Silver Surfer, and he got he's been nominated for the Eisner for Best Penciler, and it made me laugh out loud. Like, no disrespect, but
well, it's like I feel bad like not liking Steve Dillon because he's British, so I'm like I feel I should like him, but it's just not one thing.
Yeah, Michael Allred. Ew, like genuinely, Eisner for Best Penciler. Who did that? Like, I need to know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for anyone that likes him, but honestly, if I look at art and I think I could draw that, like, that does not inspire me.
Yeah, like
Maybe
Rob Liefeld. Like, good God, have you read the first 2 issues of Thunderbolts? Jesus Christ. The guy that's drawing it.
I opened it up and I read the introduction, and you know the bit where it says, like, oh, they're a bunch of bad guys, but then they did something good, and I decided that being good was, and these were the words, actually quite nice. Like, that was it. The most wishy-washy introduction to a book I have ever read. So I went like this, I went,
nope. I tell you what, the thing that offended me, like, firstly, the artwork is like, apparently the guy who does it is like Liefeld's protege sort of guy, so it is very Liefeld. Like, there's a lot of pouches, very small waists, like, it's all, like, the perspective is laughably bad. Like, it's almost worth buying to laugh at and then burn. But, like, the other thing
we
is...
thought you were going to love it. Because Bucky.
Firstly, I was offended because I was like, how dare you relegate Bucky to the Thunderbolts? Like, who gives a fuck about Thunderbolts? Secondly, if you've read the thing that built up to it, which was the Pleasant Hill Avengers thing, which I actually really liked, that's really good, Bucky was going to Pleasant Hill to murder that little girl. Like, he addresses it. He's like someone says to Steve Rogers, like, you know, we can't kill a kid because the kid is the cosmic cube, basically. He's like, we can't kill a kid. And Steve Rogers is like, Bucky will do it. Bucky goes there to murder a child, and then in Thunderbolts he's like, it's fine, come with me, and like looks after her. I'm like, you were going to shoot her through the head 5 minutes ago. Like, what's happened? Out of everyone to trust with a child, I wouldn't have a brainwashed, like, super soldier assassin. I feel like someone should have been like, you should not be anywhere near a child. Like, you cannot have that level of responsibility. Yeah. Like, you can't even look after yourself. Like, you couldn't even cut your own hair. I'm not going to let you look after a child. It's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are certain artists that, I don't know, I just can't physically look at. And then on the other hand, there are some artists that are totally underrated. Like, I've got a prime example right next to me. Like, I'm just going to show this to everybody. Matteo Scalera. Like, he is incredible. Like, look at this.
He's drawn something else that I liked, but I can't think what it is.
He is insane. Like, he gave me this at London Super Comic Con, so Matteo, if you see this, thank you very much, and that was really kind. But honestly, he is so good, and like, it drives me crazy that he's not getting bigger work.
I feel like
there are some in here that it just makes me sick. Like, they're so good.
I feel like that about Trad Moore, who's doing he did the first like 6 issues as an all new Ghost Rider, and I like, some people don't like his work because it's like very stylized, but I am like in love with it. And he does Luther Strode as well, and he's been doing the covers for Vote Loki.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
I love his art, and it's like, I want to see him draw like everything.
I want Vimeo to draw everything ever, but he's not fast enough.
I felt like that with Fiona Staples, but now she is massively getting the recognition as she deserves.
Oh, well, yeah, Saga. I mean...
Yeah, and then she did the new Archie comic series, which I actually loved. I loved reading that. But yeah, so she's getting the recognition now. But I loved her for ages.
Yeah, and then you just see, like, the Thunderbolts book, and you're like, how is this... Like, someone's paid someone to do this monstrosity. Like,
you know what I think it is, though? I think because of the sheer quantity of books they've got, if you have a look through most of the Marvel books, they are soulless. Like, they are absolutely soulless. No love has gone into the majority of those books. And in my opinion, they're doing that kind of throw enough shit at a wall, some of it's going to stick.
Yeah. And I've just found out that Chip Zdarsky's about to finish on Howard the Duck, which I am furious
and he's the best.
about. Yeah,
I love him
because I love that run, and that's going to finish. I don't know if that's finishing for good or just he's leaving it, but yeah, I'm gutted about that because there's a few books that I really love, and they're ones that are a little bit more unusual. So like Howard the Duck, Squirrel Girl, stuff like that. Patsy Walker Hellcat's been really good, but yeah, I agree. I think they're doing exactly that, throwing a lot of it. And seeing
look at this. Look at this Doctor Strange.
Are you still going on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but he's good.
Like, I see so much like fan art, and I'm like, why isn't anyone hiring?
Yeah, you should be hired. Yeah. I mean, when fan art succeeds and your artists don't, like, swap.
Yeah, exactly that. I was saying to someone the other day, like,
come on in.
Yeah, I was saying something the other day. I was like, you read some of this stuff, and the writing is so bad. It's like people are writing fan fiction of these characters better than your hired writers are writing these characters.
You know what made me mad, right? This is going to show me to be a certain type of person now on the internet. But when I saw the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, I had just seen Harley Quinn in Batman vs Superman, the porn parody. And she was far superior. Like, if a porn production team can get Harley Quinn more right than your own team, you have a problem.
I'm
like,
also
come
familiar.
on. Like, the porn parody Harley is perfect. Like, so
by the way,
get her right.
I don't know if you saw my tweet. It's finally happening. There's going to be a Captain America Bucky porn parody.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Did you from the Kickstarter?
My prayers have been answered. There's a trailer. If anyone wants to watch it, I retweeted it yesterday.
I will. There's so many things I need to watch when I leave this podcast.
Yeah, there's a lot of penises, but yeah, that's going to be great. I can't wait. I said to my friend, I was like, for the first time in my life, I will pay for that porn. Like, seriously.
How is it taking you an hour to bring that up? How did you just not go, welcome to the podcast?
Like, oh my god, there's a porn for Bucky! I have been basically doing that to everybody else. Yeah.
Like, in our shop, porn is like a standard conversation. Yeah. Like, we talk about it quite a lot with customers that come in, and, you know, we talk about the porn parodies. And the most terrifying one I think I've ever been shown is, there are two. Yeah. There's Pokemon, the porn parody, and Pikachu, or Dickachu, is the most terrifying thing I think I've ever seen, apart from SpongeBob. Yes.
Mine and Lucy's faces are the same thing.
Look it up, right? Look it up, but don't blame me. Do not blame me. You will be mentally scarred forever. I couldn't get through the theme tune.
I do
like the theme tune that I do approve of. 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my goodness. I like the names most of all. Like I'm already planning that I'm hoping they'll do one after, because this is like a Winter Soldier one. So I'm hoping the next one will be like Captain America 3 Civil War.
Oh yeah, Civil War would be good.
Like, surely. Yeah.
No, I don't. The porn title names are brilliant when they are creative.
I think
the boring ones are sad.
Yeah. Anyway, that is, we've been going for about an hour now, and what a nice subject to finish on, porn. What else would you expect from us?
If anyone looks up SpongeBob, I apologise now. In advance.
This is the quality content you get from us. Snowpiercer and SpongeBob porn. Lucky you.
Don't do it.
Amazing. Well, thank you everybody for watching and listening and asking us questions. You are all wonderful. Please tweet us all and let you know if you've watched Snowpiercer or the SpongeBob porn parody, because we obviously need to know. Watch Prisoner instead. Yes. And was it Love and Sex, Lucy's one?
Yeah, Love and Sex.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, we will see you all next time, hopefully in a couple of weeks. We will put the date up of the next one on our Twitter over the next couple of days. So you are all amazing, and bye.
Bye.